Buffalo hip-hop, the unsigned city, full of untold stories, careers that came and went. All we wanted was a chance and an opportunity to prove the critics wrong. Somebody can make it.
I was born on these streets years ago. I was the king of the neighborhood. Last on my feet, I was elite. I was the star of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Who's the Boss? Volume 1, starring Kulu. I was born 1984, November 11th, Buffalo, New York, 117 Hempstead, Langfield Projects. I hustle to survive, I fought to stay alive, I sacrificed my life. Murder, money, power, respect. I make the wrong move, that can be my death. That's the life of a hustler, life of a hustler. That's the life of a hustler. That's the life of a hustler. Life of a hustler. Life of a hustler. First of all, I'm the head goon in charge. 10 years I've been spitting these sick bars. Back in the biz, show you what does. Kulu was the American dream. Look where I was. Listen, I held the block down. Call a SWAT now. So it's clock out, rock out. Who need the pot now? Hold up, you fuckers talking to the realest ever dig.
That was actually like a fun time. That was when I really got into music heavy, into production, engineering, and we was just putting out music, 28-track CDs, just putting them out, going out to Italian Festival, Taste of Buffalo, the Wing Fest, you know, all of that. You from Buffalo, you know what all that is, the Gus Macker, handing out CDs, and you know, it was a good time. Everybody was cool. That's when everybody 30 in, 30 out. Before they was 30 in, 30 out, we was all C.O.V, we was all together, you know.
I was the youngest member of C.O.V. I was a little baby out there, ain't had no buyers for real, thought I was the best thing smoking. Could never write. But C.O.V, those are my big brothers for real. They showed me a lot, man, when I ain't had nowhere to go.
Well, C.O.V was a conglomerate, man, you know what I mean? We was like a movement more than anything. You know, it was a coalition of various groups, and you know, man, boys was doing their thing, man. Cats was going hard, you know. And to have people who doing their thing over here, and then you got people all the way the fuck over there doing their thing, and then we can all come together and make that shit one big ass crock pot and really get shit stirring, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you really want to do it.
Well, with Odyssey, as we rap, other people around us is rapping too. We got you and Shakori, Kulu and Shakori, my baby brother, and they started spitting. And then as we got to hang around the cold players, is what we called them then, you know, 30 in, 30 out boys, Mike Teasy and L. As we started hanging around them and they learned that we spit, they start spitting like, yo, they can spit too. And so when they started spitting, so you were making an album. The villains were a group already, and you were making. He's like, yo, we should do a compilation. So that's exactly what Odyssey wanted, which is me and Rock. And so everybody started spitting. People, you know, who had talent in the neighborhood around, like Micah, started coming around. That's when Brad first started rapping as well, Tech One. And you know, and as we did that, everybody wanted to be a part of that because it was something new. It was like, yo, we might as well put our CD and distribute it. And so it was fun. It was fun making that album though, because we was all competing against each other silently, and also just, you know, getting in that studio.
C.O.V mixtape, that was an interesting process because there's a lot of, you know, different people working on the album together, and you know, you got to have organization. And Kulu was the organization behind that album. If it wasn't for him, that album would have got done.
That always remind me of the movie Hustle and Flow, like how they started from the bottom. That's kind of like how we was with the mic in the closet, bed right there, you know. So we started like that, working all day, all night. Kulu wouldn't stop, you know, pushing everybody.
We got in contact with RIZE. He was part of Odyssey. family with Boo, which was part of the villains. And you know, and we used to play the game, we used to together, play ball, right? So we used to always go with Boo crib, because he had the studio. So we get over there, man, and just got to rocking. We all thought we was good. I never did, we was upstairs. We just got to rapping and politicking. And you know, we still had our little joints, our little clicks. So we performed that thing like Voltron. You know what I mean? Cold Clear Odyssey Village, man. That's how you got C.O.V.
And last time we did it together with C.O.V. You know, everybody had their selective people, you know, groups. We had, you know, Villains is me and Kulu. We had, you know, Carl and Rock Breeze as Odyssey. And we had co-players, you know, TZ and LC. That was their group. It was 3 groups. And in them 3 groups, we all performed and competed. You know, we always try to, you know, outdo each other and make good music.
Script Pro was one of the first stages that I actually got to perform on.
Definitely want to say you definitely did Script Pro than that thing. Whoever been a Script Pro know about that. But that Script Pro, that was like the first like talent showcase, man, that they had in the town. You know what I mean? That was real big on the underground out here. That's what like really kicked off everything. Yeah, Vino, real good dude, man. He believed in us in the town. You know what I mean? Wasn't really no airway for us to showcase our talent. So you know, we used to have little competitions and everything, man. And you know, we used to go in there and rock out.
Script Pro shows were, you know, were good. It was a great time to do music. A lot of people were supporting at that moment that came to shows, and it was a lot more support and more positivity. But Vino opened the door for us. It's time to get on stage and make music and, you know, show the world what we got.
Script Pro gave Buffalo a better product.
Vino gave us a chance, you know, to display our talent for the people, you know what I'm saying? And I took the opportunity full stride, you know, and try to develop myself as an artist. And I use that basically as a stepping stone to get where I'm at today.
During that time, I was a Buffalo police officer. So I got a lot of heat because I was asked, why do you want to get infused in that situation? At the time, Buffalo had one of the highest homicide rates. We just had people from other neighborhoods coming in, mostly perpetrators, pretending like they were gangsters. They were looking at what was going on in Los Angeles, up in New York City. And then we had an infusion of people coming out from New York City here to Buffalo. A whole different type of gangster. These guys were killers. And these kids in Buffalo, well, you know, they wanted to be just like them. But when you took a life, it came with a cost, and they weren't prepared for it. Of course, the court system made money off of them. And as a police officer, I found myself in a situation where I think it was a 19-year-old pulled a .22 caliber pistol, pointed it at my chest and caught me cold. All I could do is brace my body for the strike of the bullet. But it wasn't in my calling. The bullet misfired. After that happened, it changed my life. I realized I had to do something other than become hateful and being that cop that was out on the street whooping ass. So what I did is I started putting together a program called Script Pro Music and Records.
And shout out to Lavino Johnson, because I was a hard-headed, knuckle-headed kid.
When I first met him, he seemed to be a young, angry man. He was lifting weights, he was all blowed up, and I think that he was just trying to find himself as a man. Some adults may have a problem with that because they take that yearning to be a man and look at it as being something negative. It's a good thing. If you're not a fighter, you're damn sure not a winner. So I looked at him and talked to him one day, and I said, "What you trying to do?" And he said, "I want to be a rapper." Man, of course I laughed a little bit. I said, "All right, I got a stage for you." He said, "I got some boys. We've been working on some stuff. We'd like to come to your show." So I invited him down to the show. But I gave him one thing that he couldn't do, and that was no profanity. Whew. You should have seen his face. He looked at me like I had cussed him out.
And we started rocking out at Script Pro shows.
Easier said than done. Once they got on the stage, the heat came out.
Where some cannons was pulled out. And you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, we had to slow our roll. That was our entourage right there.
Luckily for me, I had a good security staff, and we were able to calm the tempers and, of course, those pheromones that were being passed around the room amongst the young men.
I wasn't gonna take no for an answer. So whenever we didn't win competitions, I was in his face about it because I felt like it was rigged.
At the Buffalo Music Awards, which was the first one in Buffalo, we were nominated. You know, I felt better songs than everybody that was in the hip hop section. And when we didn't win, it was surprising us because we had the best songs, but we lost. You know, it kind of didn't sit well with Kulu. So, you know, he confronted Vino about, like, you know, what's going on? Because this is our lives, you know. We're putting our music in, you know, into it. He felt very passionate about that when he confronted him about it. And Vino understood, but, you know, us losing, we felt like it was rigged.
At the end of the day, he still kept showing me love, still kept letting me perform. Salute Lavino Johnson, because he was the first stage that I really performed on, and that showed me how to perform. You know, that's what gave me my performance fire.
We've got the co-players. Prepare yourself.
Co-players, let's go. Straight from Chicago, my Chicago niggas up here, let's get it crunk. Yeah.
See this bitch, C.O.V, nigga. Y'all gonna love this shit.
Yeah. Rock T-T-Y, S-S-E-Y. We gon' show you niggas how the I-D-C-Y. O-D-Y-S-S-E-Y. We gon' show you niggas how the I-D-C-Y. I-D-C-Y.
There was a lot of battles. There was a lot of battles up there at Broadway Joe's when we first started out. Before we really got to do shows, you know, we had to earn the respect of battling and, you know, showing what they can do.
When I spit, it sounds like shot from the bit. When you spit, it smells like you're eating shit. Chew this clip, and your lip, so you shed blood in whatever you spit. Kulu, no man above me. And if this bitch wanna hate, fuck him till he love me. Ultimate competitors.
Instances with other rappers that we, you know, outshined per se. We had better songs. We had club ready songs, we had street songs, we had a variety of music. We knew what to get the crowd jumping. By that meaning that other artists would, you know, had certain type of styles and it didn't really appeal to the crowd. So we were more crowd friendly, you know, we actually got them, you know, on their feet and having a good time. With that being said, the hate came because we started winning awards. And that's where, you know, some battles happened and, you know, things were, you know, shots were thrown back and forth to different camps.
As I fostered some good relationships with a lot of people. I think it was at that time we had 5 different sets. Everything from Newburgh to the Goodyear Boys, North Buffalo, South Buffalo. I even had people from Lockport come down. It was crazy, just the amount of people. So then we had, we had some of the, I would call the Italian boys because they came with the slick hair. So I mean, it was a lot of cultural diversity going on, but also a lot of tensions in that room. I definitely think that I was a contributing factor. The fact was, I put a stage and a venue together that it was policed in a matter that they can come in, take off their colors. If they had guns, leave them in the car, come in and not be judged. They got on the stage and they were able to express themselves. And then I taught them the business. I said, you can't. I said, even though you can express yourself, there's a certain thing called stage etiquette. So I discussed that to them prior to them going onto the stage. Respect, number one. I was the promoter. It's my show. We're gonna do it my way and not your way. But what did happen is that you saw these young people come together on one stage and became a family. Even though they were from different sets, they became a family. They all knew each other by name, government name, and street name. Now that was crazy.
Ultimately, I learned a lot from Script Pro and C.O.V. The lesson I learned is you need a team. The better chance that you got. So I felt I had to build my own team, even after C.O.V. Cesar, my longtime partner, got locked up in Canada for 3 years. As for C.O.V., we broke up and we had differences, but the love never changed between us.